present to you by Terry Kenny, Alex Aborn, and Kieran O'Grady, is a reenactment and explanation of the 1904 Olympic Marathon in St. Louis, Missouri, and why it was so interesting, and why it was so significant in the course of American history of sports. The 1904 Summer Olympics were held in St. Louis, Missouri from August 29th to September 3rd in 1904. This was the first time that the Olympic Games were held in the United States, and furthermore, the first time that they were held outside of Europe. The ongoing Russo-Japanese War and other challenges in traveling to St. Louis resulted in a few world-class athletes from outside of the United States and Canada attending the 1904 Games. Only about 10% of the 651 athletes who competed came from outside of North America, and only 12 to 15 nations were represented in total. The U.S. National Championships was also combined with the Olympic Championship in these strange circumstances. Another interesting fact of the 1904 Olympics is that it was the first Olympics to hold the medal ceremony of gold, silver, and bronze. The marathon in these games is one of the most ridiculous events in Olympic history, mostly due to its organizer and competitors. In 1904, the marathon had not yet been standardized and was only 24.85 miles, rather than the modern 26.2. It was probably the worst marathon course ever created. The roads were dusty and covered in debris, runners had to avoid traffic, it was very hilly, there was only one water stop, and the cars carrying coaches and doctors kicked up debris, making the air very dusty in the 90-degree day. The marathon had also had the lowest finisher rate of any Olympic marathon in history. The marathon was organized by James Sullivan, who sought to test the effects of dehydration on long-distance running.
Ranging from world-class athletes and winners of the Boston Marathon to men who had never run a full marathon in their lives, qualifying through a 5-mile race, 4 unique athletes in the marathon organizer will be the focus of this story. Training after sundown, Fred Lors, a bricklayer by day yet Olympic athlete by night, was able to compete after getting a supplementary time in a shortened qualifying race. Around the 9th mile of the race, Fred Lors, who was suffering from serious cramps, decided to just get in the car and drive. Then, around the 20th mile, after riding the car for 11 miles, the car broke down, at which point Lors got out and just continued running. After running the final 6 miles, Lors finished the race in first place and was about to accept the gold medal before the ceremony was stopped by people who had seen him getting in and out of the car. William Garcia was your ordinary marathon competitor who could not handle the conditions of this race.
So dusty. Action. Where am I? Did I win? Unfortunately, you didn't, sir.
Thomas Hicks, who had a day job as a circus clown, was the most distinguished runner in this marathon.
10 miles down, let's go. Oh man, I need some water. No, take this. For me? Strike and eat an egg white, so it'll make you run faster. Whatever works.
Strychnine is rat poison.
Go, 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 go. You got 2 miles left. You got 2 miles left. Get some more. We got some more. We got some more. 2 miles left.
20 miles?
2 miles left. 2 miles left. Let's go. Go.
At this point in the race, Hicks began suffering hallucinations. Hicks had to be carried across the finish line, but this was still considered a legal win, and he got the gold medal. Felix Carbajal was a Cuban mailman who raised money by running across Cuba to demonstrate his running skill. He ran one of the most interesting marathons ever. Before Carbajal even made it to St. Louis, he lost all his money playing cards in New Orleans. Because of this, Carbajal had to hitchhike from New Orleans to St. Louis.
Por favor, un carro. Gracias, señor. Where to? St. Louis, señor. Vámonos.
Again, due to Carbajal's lack of money, he had to run the race in formal clothes. During the race, Carbajal was seen stealing peaches from random spectators. At one point, Carbajal got hungry, so he went to a nearby apple orchard. He ate apples which turned out to be rotten, so he laid down and took a nap. After his quick recovery nap, Carbajal got up and finished the race.
And our fourth place finisher, Felix Carbajal.
No! Hey!
We're now here with Mr. James Sullivan, commissioner of today's event. Mr. Sullivan, can you explain to us why there's only one water stop on the course today?
Why, yes. These athletes have not been tough enough. They need to push themselves beyond what they've done before. That is precisely why we have only one water stop in the course.
And can you explain how dehydration would allow them to perform better today?
We don't know. That's what we hope to find out.
Thank you.
This picture is of marathon runner Thomas Hicks from America. Hicks was the gold medalist in this event. In the final stretch of the race, Hicks, who had been fed egg whites, strychnine, and brandy during the race, had to be carried across the finish line by two of his trainers. Ironically, this was not considered cheating. Hicks was one of the more important people in this event, and this image depicting the real events helped us in our reenactment. The image also shows the awful conditions on the course. Hicks' ridiculous path to finishing exemplified the ridiculousness of the race, and this image shows this.
Considering that this is a race where the winner had to be carried through the finish line by his trainers and still had his time counted, allows us to understand that the circumstances of this event were far from ideal and the health and safety of the athletes were completely disregarded in the name of competition.
The unsafe conditions the athletes faced in the race are evidence of the lack of concern for athletes' health and safety in the past. The lack of water stops and the consumption of strychnine by athlete Thomas Hicks displayed the missing regulations to protect competitors. In small doses, strychnine, commonly found in rat poison, is used as a performance-enhancing drug. Before PEDs and steroids were banned from athletic competitions, athletes were often encouraged to take unregulated substances by their coaches and trainers. In attempts to gain an edge in the race, athletes risked their own safety. Thomas Hicks lost 9 pounds during the race and nearly collapsed at several intervals. The race as a whole exemplifies the corrupt experiments conducted on human beings in the 20th century. James Sullivan, race commissioner, chose to limit water stops on a sweltering hot day to test the potential effects of dehydration on athletes during a long-distance running event. With optimism, Sullivan considered the potential for groundbreaking discoveries in distance racing in the absence of water. What he did not consider was the danger he placed competitors in. This type of experimentation existed on a broader scale within the U.S. government as a whole. Between 1953 and 1973, top-secret CIA mission known as Project MKUltra tested similar effects of psychedelic drugs and psychological torture on subjects who were in many cases unaware of what was happening to them. This ties into the race because the athletes were unaware of this outside experimentation and were left at the mercy of those in control, as the subjects were in CIA experiments such as MKUltra.
The 1904 Olympic Marathon was one of the weirdest events in Olympic history, and it had implications on not only racing but also the morality of scientific experimentation.